I am excited to reconnect with another UT grad who is streaming today from California. I noticed a ton of mental health content coming from Jaclyn, and I realized the value she could bring to the show and had to get her on. She calls it a journey destined to be shared, and here is a message from her that I learned. I started Sesh because Reiki changed my life. It's one of those things you don't fully understand until you try it for yourself. And my experience was so life-changing, I found it myself telling everyone about it. It showed me just how important our personal energy is for our overall well-being. And by simply healing, it so much can change within ourselves and the life you're creating. It made me begin to look at how society focuses on our physical when it comes to self-care and why we aren't encouraged to take care of our personal energy. I love that, especially if we already discovered through quantum physics that everything is energy. So it's my mission to bring energy healing to the forefront of our self-care routines by giving you a platform and brand that confidently inspires you to heal your energy. This is going to be a great episode, but before we dive in, let's start with the question, Jaclyn. What does mental health mean to you?
Yeah. And I love this question because I think everyone has a different perspective on what mental health is. So when I think of mental health, to me, it's just the overall well-being of a person's mind. So when looking at the mind, body, spirit, and energy spectrum, I kind of look at the mind as the leader in a sense, because our thoughts and our mindset are so powerful and they control so much of who we are and kind of how we just experience life on a daily basis. And our mindset can shift within an instant, right? So it's incredibly important to bring awareness around our mental health and to teach people how to maintain a strong and healthy mind.
Very well said. And you started in the beginning. Everyone's definition of mental health is different. Everyone's brain is different. What works for some doesn't work for everyone, but she's going to share her story today to leave you with some great tips. So thank you for starting us out, Jaclyn. It is once again time to talk all things mental health, and this is a mental health break. My name is Vincent A. Lancey. I am your host, and I am the author of Mental Health Week and Mr. Lancey Talks Mental Health. You can learn more about me at Vincent A. Lancey on YouTube, social media, or my website is vincentalancy.com. And if it's your first show with us, each episode, I sit down with mental health advocates and professionals from all over the world to help you on your journey. You never know which story will resonate with you most. My why relating to mental health came after I suffered a traumatic brain injury, and you will learn Jaclyn's in just a moment. Before we get started, I would like to share that this episode is brought to you by Tampa Counseling and Wellness. They are dedicated to helping individuals looking to positively transform their lives through compassionate counseling and wellness coaching. Have you struggled with depression, anxiety, or other mental health issues? Give them a call today for free consultation and scroll down in the episode notes. You can find their website and phone number. But we can get to it now. I am looking forward to catching up with today's guest and learning her tips for success, what led her into this mental health journey, starting her own business on mental health, and so much more. Jaclyn Francis, thank you for coming on the show.
Yes, thank you so much for having me. It's so great to connect with you, and I'm really excited to have a conversation about this incredibly important and beautiful topic.
Very well said. Would you mind introducing yourself to everyone who does not know you, and then we will dive into mental health talk.
Yes, I would love to. I'm Jaclyn Francis. I'm the founder and CEO of Sesh, which is a platform connecting people to a highly vetted network of SoCal Reiki healers so they can seamlessly book and experience energy from the comfort of home. So I started my business after going through my personal journey with anxiety and healing it through this holistic energetic healing modality, Reiki. And it became my mission to bring Reiki into mainstream society so people can begin to heal themselves way past their physical by getting to the root cause, because our mind, body, spirit, and energy are all connected. And there's so much more to the body than we even know, and to the mind than we even know currently.
Yes. Can you please, for everyone who is not familiar with Reiki, what is it?
Yes, this is the best question. The easiest way to think of Reiki is an energetic detox. So it's a holistic modality that was brought to us from Japan over 100 years ago. and it's all about our energy. So it's both a hands off, so a hands above the body, and hands on the body modality that really just moves around our energy. And it releases things that are no longer serving us. So think any traumas that you've been through, if you don't properly heal those, they get stuck within you as an energetic block. So Reiki works to really break that up and release it, so you make space for things that are meant for you to come into your field.
Thank you very much for such a great answer. We're going to hear all the answers like this from Jaclyn today. She briefly touched on anxiety, how you recovered from that. Would you mind sharing with our audience some of the experiences you had dealing with anxiety?
Yeah, I mean, I think started suffering from anxiety around, I want to say 27 years old. I was a few years into living in California, and I was just so unhappy with my day-to-day life. I hated going into work, the whole 9 to 5 corporate structure. I wasn't really crazy about what I was doing because I just lacked a sense of purpose in my life. So I felt myself constantly over analyzing everything about what I was doing, where I was going, what my future looked like. And it really started to take a toll on my body. I didn't want to get out of bed in the morning. I was so overly emotional, but I was also dealing with depression kind of at the same time because I really kind of wanted to curl up in a ball and not leave my house. So I tried to figure out, like, okay, how do I heal this without going to a doctor, without having to take prescription medicine? And at the same time, I started going down my spiritual journey. And so that's kind of how I stumbled across this modality called Reiki. And I went to my first Reiki session and it completely got rid of the anxiety that I was feeling. So it just kind of started this entire, it started my mission. It started what I felt like was my purpose. And, definitely more to come that I'm happy to share on that front as well.
Yeah, it's great to see you so excited and passionate about this because the sky is the limit when you are passionate about something. Did you have any interest in sharing your story related to mental health before discovering Reiki, or please share that for us?
No, not at all. I thought it was something that I kind of wanted to keep private. I didn't tell my family, I didn't tell my friends that I was suffering from it. Again, I just wanted to crawl into a ball. So I had no idea that me sharing my story about anxiety would be so helpful because a lot of people can relate to it.
Yes.
And I think that's why, it's important to share, especially as the face of my company, because a lot of people can, relate to it and try out Reiki because they're like, oh, I'm dealing with anxiety. Let me try this modality and see if it works.
Yes, well, thank you for having the courage to share your story because you never know who it can help. Even with my story, once I spoke at graduation, I realized it was bigger than me, that there were other people who felt what I was saying, who I helped them through what they were going through. So I felt like I should just keep doing it. And now here we are. Today's actually 9 years since that day.
Wow.
So we're just getting started as well on our front. I look forward to seeing everything you are going to accomplish. But other than Reiki here, Jaclyn, what are some other things you do to improve your mental health that can be short term or long term?
Meditation. That is something that I think everyone should be practicing. I started practicing it at the same time when I experienced Reiki for the first time and I was going through anxiety or dealing with anxiety. It completely allows you to just to tune out the outside noise, the chatter within your head, and kind of just tune inward and create this sense of balance, this sense of calmness, stillness, and allows you to appreciate the life that you're currently living and where you're at that moment in time. So I know a lot of people are intimidated by meditation, but it's very similar to going to the gym. Your mind is a muscle that you have to build up and strengthen. So I always tell people, try meditation for 5 to 10 minutes a day, and you will work your way up. 2 or 3 years later, I'm able to meditate for over an hour if I feel called to doing so.
It's a great point you made right there at the end. Everybody is different. Some people meditate for a few minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes. She worked her way up to an hour. Give it a try for a few minutes. It is a free resource for you to improve your mental health. Do you use any certain apps that you can share with our audience? Do you use it without an app?
Yeah, I use YouTube. So if you go on YouTube and you just type in guided meditations, I use Meditations by Rasa. She was who I started with from the first time I meditated, and I still use her to this day. And also Dr. Joe Dispenza has amazing meditations.
Thank you for sharing that. Everyone listening on, feel free to give it a try right on YouTube. Now let's maybe talk a little more about Reiki, other things you're doing to raise awareness for the importance of mental health.
Yes. So leaning into B2B partnerships. So turning to bigger corporations, local businesses to kind of share what they can do to help their employees. Because let's look at the environment that we're in. Having happy hours and having ping pong tables, like that just doesn't work anymore. Everyone's virtual. So like it's not even as fun, but people want more. And frankly, I think they deserve more. They deserve more from their company, from their companies, from their workplace, from their higher ups. People need to start caring about their employees. And what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get them to understand that there's ways to, lean into their employees' well-beings, because health starts before needing health care. And
Yes.
it's about our mind, it's about our body, it's about, our soul and our well-being. And there are different things like Reiki, meditation, breath work, all of these amazing modalities that their employees should have access to on behalf of the company.
And it's interesting because there are a lot of companies who will work their employees 50, 60-hour weeks, and they won't do anything for their mental health. When we all know that if we're not feeling good mentally, everything else is secondary. If I'm not feeling good that day, I'm not going to be enthusiastic in my work. I'm not going to have any energy. I'm just going to want to not do much. So
Exactly.
another great point right there. I think it's a perfect time to get into the spotlight story, Jaclyn. Each week, I share a mental health story of someone who is famous because I want to let you, the listeners, know that you are not alone. I want you to understand that even though someone may look healthy from the outside, it may be the opposite on the inside. As we have a mental health advocate who is passionate about Reiki today, I went online to try to find a relevant story, and I found an article discussing others: Dr. Oz, Christina Aguilera, and Gwyneth Paltrow. All right, so Dr. Oz, we all know the name. Not only does he believe in the healing power of Reiki, but he also employs it in the operating theater. When he performs surgery, he often hires Reiki masters to help his patients relax and feel more at ease. He believes that the patient's positive attitude he attributes to Reiki is linked with successful surgical results. I think that's a pretty powerful testimonial right there. Now we're going to talk about Christina Aguilera, and we're talking about when she shed 30 pounds after gaining some weight. In 2013, she started seeing a Reiki master 3 times per week to help her deal with the stress of her hectic celebrity life. According to her, Reiki assisted her in losing weight by improving her mood and encouraging her to adhere to a healthier eating schedule. Reiki, as the article shared with Dr. Oz, is an excellent way to relieve stress while assisting with weight loss. Reiki treatments can help you lose weight by making you feel more balanced in your life, and it's likely this balance can result in a strong feeling of calm, better sleep quality, better decisions, particularly in the terms of diet, exercise, and day-to-day living, and stress and anxiety levels have decreased. We'll talk with Jaclyn in just a moment to see how she feels about those. And Gwyneth Paltrow, we've all seen her in some great movies. She began using this after she and her then 10-year husband decided to separate and eventually divorce in 2014. During and after her split, Gwyneth Paltrow found that Reiki can be a helpful tool in the healing of a relationship. So this is yet another benefit we're finding from Reiki. One of the goals of this energetic practice is to cultivate a cheerful, happy mindset. Women in mental pain, such as Paltrow, will benefit from this rebalancing of the brain. A lot to take in here, Jaclyn, as a professional and an advocate for Reiki beforehand. What are your takeaways?
I mean, there's so much to even dive into within this article, but I think just overall, it's things like this that get me so excited about what I've
Yeah.
created and about the mission that I, set out to accomplish, because everyone looks up to celebrities, right? Everyone wants to dress like them. They want to buy the things they're buying, live the life that they're living. So to have them share, more vulnerable stories about their mental health, their weight, heartbreak, and them leaning into a modality like Reiki is amazing. And it's honestly, it's so helpful for people who might be going through the same thing, because now they have this new modality that they probably never even heard of, that now they want to try out themselves.
Celebrities, they are in the spotlight. People, they're almost not human at some points to certain people. And if they go ahead and talk about positive things like this rather than the stereotypical things that come out of Hollywood and what people do with money. It goes a long way because their message can get through a lot more than us for now. But we are both on big missions, and I see more collaborations with us in the future as we
Yes.
both grow our brands, Jaclyn. I want to thank you so much for taking the time today to come on our show. I, of course, have to thank you for such a thorough explanation of Reiki. We had examples, we had a firsthand story right here, and your expertise definitely taught me a lot. I loved how you had the courage to share your story. You said this wasn't something you always wanted to let people know, your family, your friends. At first you hid it, but then you started seeing the positivity that your story can breed, the face of your company, as you said. I look forward to seeing all of your future success. How do you want to end the show with your last word?
Yes. Well, thank you so much, Benny. I'm so honored to have this conversation with you. And
Oh, of
I
course.
think the way we should totally end this is by just letting anyone know who's listening and maybe struggling that there is a way to heal yourself and become better, because you are more powerful far beyond what you know and what society has told you. And we just scraped the surface today, but there are so many amazing forms of healing modalities, Reiki, meditation, breath work, yoga, etc., that you can easily have access to. But most importantly, just know that no matter how you're feeling about yourself in this moment in time, you should wake up every single morning and just tell yourself that you love yourself, you're beautiful, you're powerful, and you're grateful. Practice those affirmations, express gratitude, because again, your mind is a muscle and it controls so much of your life that you'll just start to see a change in your external life, in your physical, in your mental, and your overall well-being.
And again, everyone, these are free things you can do. Practicing gratitude, it sounds simple and it sounds cliche at times, but when you do it, you start to realize it's not about the car or the things you have. It's that you have a house, you're breathing, you have food, all of these things, and you start to appreciate life in a much different way. How can everybody find you, Jaclyn? Find your business, say hello to you.
Yeah, so my personal Instagram is Jaclyn Francis, and my business Instagram is at Ready Sesh Go. Our website is www.readyseshgo.com.
Thank you for sharing that. Everyone, be sure to stop by her page and see everything she has to offer. We are at a mental health break on all social media except Twitter. We are at Podcast by Lancey because of the character limit. My name is Vincent A. Lancey. I am at Vincent A. Lancey on all social media, YouTube, and the website is vincentalancy.com. Mental health books, check mine out if you're interested in the subject a little more. Mental Health Week and Mr. Lancey Talks Mental Health are both on Amazon now. Thank you for tuning in, and we will see you next Tuesday on a mental health break. Jaclyn, thank you so much.
Thank you.